welcome. I am your host, CernerSandals, and joined here tonight by Mr. DannyFanta. Well, at least on the one to Goon side of things, this is a bit of a special occasion. A bit of an LCA matchup. So over on the Akimbo side of things, it is Danny hosting, and myself as kind of the co-caster here. But this is going to be a very interesting matchup here tonight, as we do have Akimbo and Wanted Goons facing off in the server here tonight.
Yeah, two of the top advanced teams right now in terms of like the mid-season. You've got Akimbo at 5-0, undefeated. They've been running through the division. Wanted Goons were undefeated right until yesterday. They had some unfortunate circumstances happen with one of their players, and then of course the update dropped, and Villainous really took it to them. They were not able to get their feet off the ground.
Yeah, the faded Counter-Strike update in the middle of League Night is always wonderful, and Valve almost did it again today. We were just kind of chilling, getting ready for this one, and Steam DB started popping up, going, "Hey, Valve's doing an update," and well, at least things happened before game time, so nobody really got unlucky like that, like last night. But hey, we are here, and as an update, we do have the IP. We're in the server, so we're all good on that end. So we will be able to spectate this game. Yeah, thank goodness. Hey, like you said, both teams have had very strong records. Akimbo 5-0, and One to Goons. They've been waiting to play almost so far this season. It's been a bit of a minute. They've been having a lot of forfeit wins this season. To kind of kick things off. So I'm sure they're just itching to finally get these games out and play these ones, because sure, forfeit wins are forfeit wins and they're cool and all, but like sometimes you just gotta want to play the game,
Right, and it's a little bit deceptive because you look at the Goons' record and they only have one loss. But you talk about the forfeit wins, exactly. We can't really exactly test the strength of this Wanted Goons roster until they play a game like this against a team like Akimbo Esports, who have been making it look fairly easy in advance without any forfeit wins. So a lot of things to take into account here. Both of these sides stacked to the brim with talent. It should be very interesting to see how this goes. Overpass, the best of one, the map tonight should be interesting. I haven't seen a whole lot of Overpass this season, to completely honest with you. Ancient has sort of creeped its way in to be a map that's played a lot between many different teams in every division. So to see Overpass, the reinvented Overpass, with the little graphical updates, should be interesting. And overall, between these two teams, it's very difficult to say how this could go. I think Akimbo has a slight edge just because I've seen more of them compared to the Goons, but definitely don't sleep on them as well.
Yeah, Overpass is definitely an interesting pick so far because, for Akimbo, we haven't seen it played out of them yet. So this is, at least in this season, so this is a bit of an unknown factor for them. For the One to Goons, of the two games they have played, they haven't played it yet either. So Overpass being a bit of an unknown, although I do see in their game preferences for just on their faces stats, they have played it. They have played Overpass a fair few times, and looking at Akimbo, it's a bit of the same. They've only played it, although I say a bit of the same, they've only really played it once. At least in what these faces stats are telling me right now. So bit of an unknown factor, but I think kind of what comparisons we should really be drawing here is the rosters that we'll be seeing tonight, because these are two rosters that have got some absolutely stacked talent here. For the side of One to Goons, we have Silgoat, Atomic, Little Beer, Seven Evan, or just I believe just Evan, if I'm not mistaking myself there, and then Isaac. So Strider is sitting out this one. Isaac will be playing in Strider's place. I believe there's some funny, like, making sure that the whole roster slot thing goes through, as far as if I'm not mistaking myself. But overall, that's kind of what the situation is here tonight for the One to Goons. And for Akimbo, they'll be playing with a roster of Florence, Flixie, Noxio, Katie, and Nice. So same five as they've been playing with for the last season and some change. And overall, they've put up some great numbers with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Akimbo really haven't had to do much in terms of roster switching around. You look at their Faceit page, it's really just these five players. So, you don't have to worry about that too much. You can kind of come in with your five players, know that they're going to bring you those consistent performances, and so many of these players so individually talented overall, and that really is kind of what separates one team from another. You can have good team cohesion, good communication, but you really need to have those individual skilled aimers, and both of these teams have it. So it'll be very, very intriguing to see who ends up having a big game, who will be the one to take control of the reins and kind of push their team over the edge, because these are two very good advanced teams.
Yeah, two very good teams. Akimbo kind of being that standing roster that with the more of the experience, and Wanton Goods being a bit of a rebuild. And I guess we're gonna have to see how things go. I see the knife run's getting underway, so how about we throw this over to the map intros, because we are just getting started here. And like we said before, we are going to overpass. Long time map, at least in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and now even at the start of 2, having kind of stuck around there. And looking to continue forward as we move into CS2. And with the knife round having concluded, it will be one to Goons starting on that CT side as we get into the first half.
Yeah, and a lot has been said about Overpass, and this is one of those maps where not just aim is going to take you all the way through. The ability to have control of the different parts of the map, connector, the ability to rotate freely from the upper site to the lower site is so important. So we'll really be looking to see which team is able to take more map control, able to manipulate the rotations of the other team. I think that's what's really going to be the difference between them. As we're ready to go here, there's no more time for waiting. The pistol round is upon us. It's Akimbo Esports versus Wanted Goons. Each of these teams, their 6th game of the season.
Ooh. A little spot from Atomic in towards Monster Tunnel there. Will he spot out one? And one to Goons, they've gone for a heavy stack up towards this B bomb site. They've put 4 players stacked up around it. Atomic tapping away, does at least find one. Gets a little awkward, and Flixie will at least get that trade and makes it a 4v4. But down on this B bomb site, Solgo and Little Beer are quite low in the HP here. Florence is going to be going for that bomb plant, and there's not going to be really any sort of way to cancel things out immediately here. But Isaac is on the flank with the USP, flanking it up. But Florence, a great shot with the Glock, along with Nice, finding one as well. Katie rings out for another. It's still going to 1v4, and he cannot find it. Katie, she takes the kill, and Akimbo now 1-0 up.
Yeah, nice job by Akimbo right there. They get the bomb site. Not only do they do that, but they keep control of it as well. And really, it was just the early damage put in by those pistols. You had a couple players on the Goons before the retake even started that were below 20 HP. So very difficult to go back in when you only have the armor. There's not any utility to help you get back into that bomb site, and it just kind of relies on your raw aim. So Akimbo, they grab that pistol. They'll force buy through. Wanted Goons will not test them. They'll full save.
Absolutely here. Round number 2 getting started, and Akimbo, they've gotten everything that they could possibly really want out of this round. And, looking at everything on the server. Oh, no, wait, Strider is in the server here tonight, so it's Evan that sat out. I'm just realizing that now.
Yeah.
So there has been a bit of a change. Okay, a bit of a change of plans. All right.
They're just giving us a whole bunch of surprises.
Yeah, so this is a bit of an eco coming out here for, full of surprises here out from the One to Goons. And a bit of an eco here for them. They've just got these USPs. Going to be trying to find at least 1 kill, and does catch Florence with his back turn, so that's at least 1 up. Noxio does at least get that trade there onto Isaac. And oh, Nice, that's a bit of a fortunate lineup there for him. Makes it a 3rd as well. Can Nice get that quad kill with the Galil? Absolutely wants to find it. Spawning out Atomic. Ooh, Dink comes through there. And Atomic now trying to go on the prowl for that kill, but Atomic knocked down to 21 HP. You can't say he's going to be alive for much longer. At least picks up that Mac 10, but overall, probably just rather end up in the round dead, but who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer he's going to survive here. They're running him down towards the fountain area. 21 HP. It was a good try by Wanted Goons. They had the stack towards the bathrooms. A good double peek there to take down Florence. But once the information of those players was confirmed and there was that stack in the bathrooms, Akimbo could freely walk right into that B site. And then, you don't expect too much from the Wanted Goons there on the full save. They're just trying to do as much damage as possible, force some reinvestments. And for the Akimbo, they keep it clean, only losing 1 player in that fight, but with that full save from the Wanted Goons, they'll be able to bring the rifles in, including that AWP strap to the back of Atomic, which could be a big factor in determining how the CT side goes for the Wanted Goons.
Yeah, and Atomic's been a strong offer for some time, right? And with a decent amount of, experience throughout the years. I mean, playing on, I believe, Limitless at some point. Most recently, of course, at 7 a.m. and whatnot, but now finding himself on the Wanted Goons. And fortunately, losing out on that first fight there, Florence takes that one down, and Solgo burned down to 28 HP. Things are vulnerable here up on the A site, continuing to eat more damage as that nade flies in, takes him down to 16 HP. But there has been a rotation pulled up. Isaac's rotated up with that A1, and that leaves the side of Little Beer and Strider. They're going to start to push around the map here. They want to see kind of what's happening around this B bomb site, and they have left Little Beer in towards water to kind of hold things off on that B side. And that will allow for some more freedom, right? Strider now has an opportunity to perhaps just rotate straight up towards A and just put 3 players on this defense.
Yeah, and Akimbo, as soon as they dropped the Opera Atomic, they immediately put so much pressure on the Bathrooms. Wanted Goons forced to retreat, and a beautiful Molotov. SoulGoat not able to get away. He had to use the smoke earlier towards Divider to extinguish that, to keep him alive, and the Molotov will drop him. Flixie eliminates the rotator, Little Beer, who tries to make the flank in, and this should be all but the round here. Akimbo will grab 3. Isaac and Strider will look to hold on to these rifles and use them in the next round, but Akimbo, you know, it's a little unlucky right there for Atomic. He had a kind of an aggressive angle towards the fountain, landed the shot, but it wasn't above the waist, and of course that's not going to be enough to get the kill, and he goes down because of that. So instead of a one-man advantage, you have Akimbo pushing through. And
tough loss there for Isaac as well. Just looking at the wrong place at the wrong time there, gets taken down by Flixie. Second kill in the round there for Flixie, and it just leaves Strider alone, and Strider has a FAMAS, so definitely not the weapon that you want to be surviving here, but unfortunately for Strider, no one else was really offering themselves up to kind of go down in those fights, and so the FAMAS is the only weapon that's been brought over to this next round. And for Goons, I feel like you're just going to be saving for the next one, right? You're not going to be trying to go for anything too extreme with the buys, you know, not trying to go for a force buy here. I feel like that would be a bit rash of a decision. And it does seem that this is going to be a bit of a light investment. You have a couple of P250s coming out, you know, a flashbang and a smoke in the hands of SoulGoat. So probably going to set something up towards mid and just try and disrupt this sort of early T presence. And as the smoke goes in, just being set but not thrown, at least immediately, will flash in for Strider, who does fight out, but it's knocked. What a great shot there on that AK-47. Not going to win the follow-up, though. SoulGoat does at least get that trade, and now going to be trying to pick up that AK-47 as well. Will he be allowed to, though, is the real question. Should be making it out alive, unless it's going to be Katie on that AK to swing it around and find that trade.
Oh, that is a fantastic shot from Katie right there. It looked like SoulGoat was totally ready for that fight, but just a beautiful peek around the corner and an instant headshot. And you can see Wanted Goons, they're just trying to make the best out of that FAMAS here. And how about another kill? Katie clearing out this entire side of the map, and it's causing so much havoc as well, because while all this is going down towards Fountain, Akimbo are now pushing towards B, and the only player to stop them would be Little Beer with just the P250, but does line up a headshot. In the meantime, Katie's still just doing so much work over on the upper side, and Nice will be there to clean things up.
Yeah, unfortunately there for the Wanted Goons, where they were able to kind of find that sort of advantage, you know, picking up an extra rifle, tossing that FAMAS over. It was Katie there with 3 great headshots. And, you know, unfortunately, I don't know. I don't quite remember who it was she caught just out in the middle of the open. I think it might have been Isaac, but just catching Isaac in the middle of the open, you know, with that headshot was a very unfortunate moment there for Wanted Goons. Is they just lost so much of that control. It meant for more kind of just, you know, lurking around trying to find a fight, and Akimbo were more than ready for it. They were able to just sneak around, play with the rifles that they have, and get those headshots. Strider kind of a bit of jumping jacks there, trying to stay alive, but it's going to be Flixie to find that kill through the smoke. And Akimbo, they take a man advantage.
Strider tried his hardest to get over towards the left side of Monster there, but multiple nades removing that smoke and giving them visibility, and he goes down. That's a heavy investment as well. That AUG 3300 dropped. I'm sure they'll try and grab that if they can end up winning this round and keep a few players alive. But at the moment, Akimbo, with that kill, not committing to anything just yet, spread out throughout the map, still hoping to see if Wanted Goons, in response to one of their players going down, try to go aggressive and get a kill back. But doesn't seem to be the case. Both teams just playing conservative and waiting for the other to make the first move.
Swing does come out, though, and Flixie going to be standing tall. Little Beer has fallen outside of Monster, and will that pull Akimbo towards this B side, or will they just continue to work towards A? They have got the player deep in Bathrooms. Atomic getting caught, jumping up a little bit there. Goes for the reach swing, but can't connect the shot. Nice takes that one with the A1, and now It's the A-bomb site in the hands of Akimbo, and for the Solgoat and Isaac, they really have no other option than to save. It's a 2v5. You can't be trying to risk it all in this type of scenario. So Akimbo, they're just marching onwards to a 5th round, and pretty much uncontested as well. One to Goons, they need to be able to find something here in this next round or two, or this half's going to be looking very bleak for them.
Yeah, and Flixie's hunting them down right now. Oh boy, this could be huge. There's the first headshot. And now Isaac left alive will at least avenge his teammate there, but now they know his position, and there's plenty of money on Akimbo right now. So they want to be able to hunt down this rifle. They don't want to give one of Goons anything going into the next round. I just don't know how much longer Isaac's going to be able to survive. They are surrounding him from all sides. And a good fight put up, but eventually does go down right after the bomb explodes. So 5-0 start for Akimbo. This is on the T side of Overpass as well. One of the Goons need to respond quickly.
And, looking at this, it kind of does raise some questions about looking at how this game kind of plays out right now. And, this kind of brings a question to have, that maybe you could provide some insight to. When you're looking at CS, because, obviously we've cast a fair bit this season, are you of the boat thinking that this is also just a very T-sided version of the game, or is this just maybe one to Goons, unfortunately, falling a little flat here in the CT half?
It looks like they're just not able to gather any momentum together. When you're on that CT side, especially now that we're in MR12, every round is so important. You can't just throw away rounds, because as soon as you get up to that 6-7 round lead, you're already halfway to the end goal. And so the Goons, the CT side economy is just so important now. Try to keep it stable as much as possible. Allow you to buy yourself into every single round. But right now, Akimbo not only are winning these rounds, but winning them cleanly and making sure to wipe every Goons player off the map so that there's nothing saved over, so they have nothing available to help them out in these ecos. And again, just another clean round right here from Akimbo. These ecos have not been threatening whatsoever, and sometimes teams can take these ecos for granted and lose to these upgraded pistols, these 5.7s, these deagles, and that can completely throw the momentum the other direction. So Akimbo keeping things clean and precise.
Yeah, and great plays coming out from Katie and Nox, especially when they're going a little lower on the HP. They're not trying to just run in with the ego and try and just challenge it out. We saw a similar thing kind of out from Nice in round 2 or 3 or something, where it was just kind of picked up the triple kill, got dinked down to about 16 HP or so, and then just backed off, went back down connector, and just kind of hid out for the rest of the round, let the rest of the team take care of it. And that shows how well Akimbo is playing off of each other in some of these rounds. They're doing a phenomenal job of kind of isolating the one to Goons into these individual fights. And unfortunately for the one to Goons, they aren't really having the successes that they need to when they need to in this one. So for now, Akimbo, they sit on 6-0. They're going to be trying to extend, obviously, for more, but will one to Goons in this round, will they be able to kind of pick up this first round here? That's going to be, just kind of the very important aspect of it. I do see Atomic has picked up the AWP again, and I feel like that is going to be where we really see things unfold, is where if Atomic can, kind of light up on the server finally here, we might be seeing a much more competitive half out of the one to Goons.
Oh my god, Nice is flying through connector right now, meeting up with the rest of his teammates in water to guarantee that control of the map. So Akimbo making it a point very early on here to push them off. Little Beer could be taking first contact, crouching in, and oh, Nice, another fantastic shot there. Little Beer didn't even have a chance to fire a bullet back, and that's already going to force some rotations as they're putting a lot of pressure on this B site.
And I don't think Little Beer was expecting it either, right? Watching his POV, it felt like there was a solid half second or so where Little Beer, I don't think he realized that Nice had swung, because it felt like such an off swing, how that one played out of Nice going for that crouch peek there. And Nice, another one there with the AK-47, picks up another kill. Isaac caught with his back turned to Flixie, and now it's all on Atomic. He hasn't been able to find any of the fights because all of it's happening down on B. Akimbo, surely they've locked in the 7th round. I don't feel like Atomic, he can't go for it. He's on $0. He's got the armor. He's got, a smoke and an aid, but without a kit, without any extra kills from his teammates there. Unfortunately, this is going to a 7th round here for Akimbo.
And I mean, it's just another case of Atomic not being able to get that op involved in any of these rounds. He will be able to take down Nice here, but that's a problem, right? Because Atomic has been one of the players on the Wanted Goons that has been giving them so much value with that big green, and he's just really hasn't been present in any of these rounds. And Akimbo have done a really good job of isolating him and making sure they don't just run right into the op without a chance for a trade. And in this case, it's Nice with a double entry into that B site, and it just goes to show that Akimbo not only are winning the game strategically, but are also hitting their shots. I mean, Nice 12-3, you've got Katie 9-0, hasn't died yet. So, I mean, the gunfights being won pretty much by every player on this Akimbo Esports roster. Wanted Goons, again, on another save.
Very one-sided. Yeah, it's very one-sided here so far. And for the Wanted Goons, I feel like now the kind of goal here is to just they kind of just have to play for these last 4 rounds of the half, right? I mean, sure, they've got deagles here. They might be able to pick up some sort of kills here, you know, maybe catch off a quick couple of one-taps, but overall, it looks like they're just going to have to try and, you know, pick up some of these late rounds. And what is it that they need to change here, right? What kind of plays can they make to be able to, you know, slowly just kind of, because it feels like Akimbo, they have a very strong grasp on this game, so they need to start pulling some fingers away from it, or else they're just going to lose it all here momentarily. Explaining connector will make a spot, finding some damage on Little Beer. Little Beer trying as he might, but it's going to be Nox and Katie. They open up for 2. Little Beer pulling back, though, onto the B-bomb site, and now it's a 5-on-3.
Yeah, I mean, for the Wanted Goons right now. Oh, and the nades directly onto Little Beer. Akimbo just have Wanted Goons' number right now. It just seems like everything that they're doing is going their way. Oh, Soul Goat. Nice little response there with the Desert Eagle, but I don't know if it'll quite be enough as they do end up running him down. Isaac is on the flank. Let's see what he can do from this position. But Akimbo, like I mentioned, everything they're doing working. Florence turns around, flicks on Isaac. No worries right there for Akimbo, even with that little nice double deagle headshot with Soul Goat. I think for the Goons
Soul
right
Goat,
now, you
just have the spark.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what they need, right, Connor? They need to get a spark. They need to at least get one round out of the way, and then hopefully you can build off of that. Something needs to give you that rev in the engine that can push your team forward, because at the moment, you have to think that the mentality, the comms, they're maybe not looking as good or as clean losing this many rounds in a row.
Right now on Overpass, it looks like they need some of that German engineering to save themselves right now in this half, because overall, it's been a bit of a rough stretch to start things off here. We do have a bit of a tech pause here, so it looks like we'll be just kind of resolving some things. I see Katie has disconnected from the server, so perhaps just a quick little disconnect to, you know, just kind of work out some issues before we continue on with the rest of this game. But overall, just what an incredible performance we're seeing out from Akimbo. They haven't given Wanted Goons an inch of opportunity here. And, you know, the main opportunity that we've really seen the Wanted Goons have was in that previous round, in round number 8. And it was because Soul Goat hit that nasty double kill with the Desert Eagle. That was, and you know, they had to fight for the opportunity, but unfortunately, even with that double kill, it was all just kind of fated to fail anyways, as they had already picked up 3 kills. It was a 5-on-1 for that bomb site, and Isaac was unfortunately nowhere to really be found because he was still rotating down connector.
And to think that that previous round is the best chance that the Wanted Goons have had, or the closest look that we've seen to them winning a round was on a round that was just 5 deagles and barely any utility, really goes to show how dominant this has been from Akimbo. They're just running in there, doing whatever they want, and it's working. Wanted Goons are not at all forcing them to shift the way they play. Right now, they're just sticking to what works, and why not? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the individuals from Akimbo showing out right now. Clearly, they've been hitting the DM because the shots are clean.
Yeah, it's been very clean coming out here from the side of Akimbo. And, you know, while we're saying here how Akimbo, they haven't had to change their play style whatsoever, you look over on the flip side, and it feels like Wanted Goons, they have to change something about their play style. And in some ways, they've tried to go for something different, right? You know, in one of those, in the eco round where we saw it was I believe it was Isaac or no, Strider there with that FAMAS. He was that lone FAMAS. They tried to go for some sort of early aggression up towards Fountain. Unfortunately, you know, Strider instantly dead. It had to be Solgo to pick up that kill just to even kind of even things out. And then it was Katie, though, with the triple kill on the AK to just kind of immediately turn the tides in favor of Akimbo. Great nade coming out to start things off as we resume the game on round number 9. And that nade's already knocked Isaac down to 74 HP. Now the opposite hands of Atomic, and Atomic's got a great angle on this. He's trying to look for the boost, but he looks back to Playground, but oh my god! Katie has just absolutely cleaved Atomic's head.
I thought for sure that Atomic had that. I was a little worried that he switched over to like look at the boost, but then even with that, as soon as he gets off the angle, Katie is there, and she's not missing either. I mean, that's another kill to her name. 12-0 now on the scoreboard. Nothing can bring her down. And now an automatic 2-man advantage so early in the round. I mean, I really do like the play from Atomic. It's just a little bit of classic CS timing where he gets off the angle for 1 second, and as soon as he loses it, Katie grabs it.
Another one.
It's just everything's working.
Can we see the ace out from Katie? I mean, it's 3 kills for her. She's on 53 HP. If I'm calling here for Akimbo, I'm saying, Katie, go hunting and just try and find these last couple of kills. It's Little Beer and Strider. They know that these are the B players, so they know what sections of the map to cordon off here. And you see that Flixie's already pushed out, checking over towards Monster, but Little Beer and Strider, they've made their way towards T-spawn. Flixie makes the spot, takes down Little Beer, and now it's Strider in a 1v5. And unfortunately, this might be fated to go the way every other round has gone here for the wanted Goons so far. Strider at least picks up his first kill here. Needs to just hold on to find more, but with 4 players of Akimbo and look at the economy that they have, they're going to be more than happy to hunt him down. Strider picks up a second one, still fighting here with this AK-47, trying to stay alive, and it looks like he will be able to make his way out of the round here. 9-0, though, for Akimbo is a daunting scoreline.
I mean, just how many more times are wanted Goons going to, at the end of these rounds, just try and hold on to their weapons? There really is nothing they can do to fight back against Akimbo right now, and Katie pretty much single-handedly wins that round herself. It just seems like every fight that she takes, she is going to win. And when you're in that flow state as a player, when you can feel like you can hit every single shot in every fight you take, that's a dangerous player right there. And you have to worry about them just running rampant throughout the map. Gotta find some way to shut that player down. We'll see if they can. Wannagoons take the timeout to hopefully get a little bit more of a pause in the action to talk things over.
They need a moment here, right?
They really do.
I mean, they do. It's been a slog here through these first 9 rounds, you know, and I'm sure they're just kind of maybe living on a hope and a prayer that they can find something in these last 3 rounds. But one of the key factors they're going to have to deal with is they're going to have to deal with Katie. Katie has been a destructive force up towards that A site, up through Playground, just absolutely clicking heads out. And the Wanted Goons, they haven't found that answer. And, you know, she stays undefeated. She is 13-0. Great nade comes out, though, and that does a lot of early damage. And Akimbo, they're trying to go for a bit of a B rush here, but it's not exactly paying off the way that they might be expecting. And now it's 3 dead, almost 4 is Katie. She does at least stay alive for that 1v1 against Atomic, but now it's a 2v2. Florence and Katie got to try and navigate this one, but the bomb is down on that B-bomb site.
Maybe that adrenaline for Akimbo pumping a little too hard right there as they just try to run into the B site, switch up the pace, and catch Wanted Goons off guard. Luckily, their B setup is good. Although, even with how good it looked in them stopping that initial rush, it's still a 2v2. So this is absolutely winnable here. And they're still towards the B site as well. Wanted Goons have not wavered from this position. That's a good spam from Florence. Not enough to confirm the kill, but just chipping away at the HPs a little bit.
Now, the thing is, though, is that Katie is so low on the HP, on to 10 health. So a lot of this just does lie on Florence's shoulders to be able to have the impact to find those kills here. There's 40 seconds left on the clock. Molotov gets sent out. Doesn't really reach deep enough to force anybody out into the open. And now it's Solgoat and Isaac. They're still holding on to this bomb here. Katie watching for the monster plays. Florence is going to start to creep from monster as well. Still, it looks like the first fights here are going to be up against either Solgoat playing on short. The spot has been made. 19 seconds now. Time starting to run low here. Akimbo, made their way up Monster. Florence still just playing sneaky beaky up here, but Florence, oh my god, actually gets the kill. It's now Soulgoat versus Katie. Katie picks up the bomb, but can't get away with it. Soulgoat, a double kill there, a 1v2 clutch, and once it Goons at long last, they do have their first round.
Yeah, finally. And a good moment to do so as well, you know, as we're making our way into the final parts of the first half. Hopefully you can build off of these rounds, make it 9-3 at the end, and you know, give yourself a little bit of momentum going into the other side. But Akimbo still with a very comfortable lead. I'm sure they're not too discouraged about dropping that round, and even still, it was very close. Came to a 1v1 situation. Akimbo were playing very patient, and maybe a little too patient, and there wasn't quite enough time for that bomb to get planted and take the fight at the same time. But Wanted Goons get there first, and they're gonna push long here. Isaac gonna get flashed in. Doesn't spot anything, as Katie, playing very close to that wall, will manage to keep herself concealed, and now they're running away. It's beautiful here. Oh, but the spray a little bit off kilter.
Yeah, that spray was damn close, but unfortunately not close enough to finish off Soulgoat, though. Soulgoat now up to 7 kills and has been the sort of highlight here for Wanted Goons in this first half, at least when it comes to the kills here. Highest on, you know, the CT side, and now it's kind of just about, you know, just needing at least 1 or 2 more players to kind of step up to that level here. And if, you know, they can get, you know, at least 3 of these players up, but oh my, what a dunk coming out from Nice there to finish off Soulgoat. And I mean, it definitely makes sense. You know that Soulgoat's playing up on A, might as well just send the utility to finish off the job. And, you know, we find ourselves in a 4v4. Flixie going to be getting that bomb plant down. There's a flank happening. Isaac from bathrooms. He's got the A1. He's creeping around. Is he going to get a knife here? Oh, no. He's playing the trigger discipline, and he gets a double kill. Isaac, a huge way to open things up on the A-bomb site. Knows about Noxio and bathrooms, but do they know about Flixie? At the flower pots, we'll have to find out here. It's a 3v2. There is a kit on Strider, but there's no smoke for the bomb, so they have to win out the fights before they can really commit here. The swing is good from Strider. He finds that one, and Strider doubling up there. It's a second round for the Wanted Goons. And Akimbo, they cannot force themselves to double digits just yet.
Man, that flank from Isaac was absolutely everything, and the fact that he takes the patience, takes the time. A little bit of trigger discipline goes a long way, and picking up that double kill makes it a one-man advantage for Wanted Goons going into that retake rather than an even situation. And nice shots from Strider right there to clear out the rest of those players towards bathrooms. As we make our way into the final round of the first half, it's been really all Akimbo here, but Wanted Goons maybe starting to find their stride here towards the end. See if they can get a third.
Yeah, it's about finding that third round, and you know, 9-3 halves, they can be a bit of a scary proposition for some. You know, I like to call it the curse of Raw because, oh man, those, you know, 9-3s can evaporate very quickly in CS2, and Little Beer has found at least another kill. It makes it a 5v3. Katie trading back for 1, but there's Atomic ringing out now. And now Wanted Goons, maybe they're starting to heat up a little bit here towards the end of this first half. They were getting rocked all the way through those first 9 rounds, but these last 3 have shown a lot better form coming out from the Wanted Goons. They're winning these duels, you know, they're getting these advantages, but now it's about closing this round. It's a 4v2. You cannot let this round go.
Yeah, cannot get complacent. Florence has made his way. He's walked all the way in through A, but he did not see the shoulder of Isaac right there.
I feel like the call is to just let Flixie, like, go, maybe.
Even if he...
I have no idea.
It's tough. I mean, it's a 4v2. He's doing the best he can to try and make something happen, to give Flixie some space here, but he doesn't have a whole lot. Even with all this space, what can he do with it?
Thing is that Florence, he's heard Little Beer rotate up towards this A site, and Atomic playing connector, that was a known position. So Florence, if he's doing the math correctly, he should probably realize there's only 1 player on this B bomb site. Takes down that kill. Flixie's been given the all clear up on this B bomb site, but oh my! Atomic peeks up. Flixie gets the shot, and now it's a 2v2. Little Beer and Isaac now have got to try and clutch things up. Molotov sent to Little Beer's feet. He's going to be pushing forward. Flixie plunging in the digits here on the bomb, and now we've got 40 seconds. A swing out from heaven is good, but Flixie trades. Now it's a 1v1, but Little Beer is able to clutch it up, and once the Goons, they will have their third round of the half. They at least end it with 3 in a row, just barely.
Yeah, that could have been absolutely disastrous. I mean, the patience right there to go all the way through A, listen for all the rotations. They almost had that. And if Flixie I didn't realize that Little Beer had crossed over towards the left side of Graffiti, because if he had, he might have been able to line up that second kill off the trade from his teammate. And Akimbo would have pulled off a crazy 2v4 right at the end of the half. That would have really deflated the spirits of Wanted Goons right there. But at the end of things, after 9 rounds in a row from Akimbo, they pick up 3 in a row to at least make it somewhat close. But this pistol round, obviously, is a necessary pickup if they want to stay in this game.
Yeah, this is a very important pickup. Now, it's not like the most important thing that they need. I feel like even if you do lose pistol round, so long as you kind of pick up the follow-up or even that third round of the half, you might be okay. But, oh, it's a complete domination coming out here from Akimbo. A 3-1, and oh my, it's Little Beer now forcing a 1v4, and he could only find one. Akimbo, they ran circles around the Wanted Goons there, and that one, they're up 10-3.
Just another really good-looking round from Akimbo right there. They're hitting all their shots. They've got the players in the right positions. And Akimbo picking up right where they left off. Double digits secured. They just need 3 more rounds to shut the door on this game and hand Wanted Goons their second loss of the season. And this has really been impressive to watch overall. Wanted Goons are not going to force into this. They weren't able to get that bomb down. And that double Molotov, Strider takes all of that damage.
Now that double molly toasting up Strider just a little bit there. We'll at least get away and, at least, have some of the angle positioning over towards long. For Akimbo, they don't really have anybody placed down there. They've gone for a very heavy B lean, and they've left Florence alone with that A1 to kind of be the anchor up on the A site. Katie's in connector as well to kind of float for either rotation. But overall, a lot of this lies onto Florence. The fight's happening in con. Florence swings out, does take down one. That's Strider going down. Florence doubles up there on the Soul Goat. And now it's a 5v3, tapping away to take down Atomic. It's a 5v2, and that should be curtains here on round number 14. Nice takes down Little Beer. It all lies on Isaac.
Yeah, no problem for Florence right there. And even if he did go down, there are a couple players ready to trade him if necessary, waiting for the peak. And he didn't need it. He just gets it done by himself. 11-3 Akimbo, Wanted Goons. Pretty much one of the biggest rounds of the game right here. You need to convert this, otherwise you'll be left with scraps in the final round on match point. And so, Akimbo, after that round being super clean, they are going to hold on to these MP9s, 4 of them in total, to hopefully gain some bonus cash. So
something I do have to comment on, though, is that Flixie is currently sitting at 13-3-7. So big props to Flixie. I don't know. I found that entertaining at the very least. So I just had to say it. But anyways, it is 11-3. Akimbo 2 rounds away from victory here on Overpass. Wanted Goons, they've gone for a bit of a switch up. They are running it up long, and they're trying to pull at least a bit of a fast one on Akimbo. Now they have pulled Katie with that MP9 towards long, and she's getting really close up here towards that half wall. Atomic is watching with the AK-47, but Katie's not going to really want to extend past this. The Goons, 3 players in towards bathroom. Atomic watching from long bath, and they do have Little Beer out from fountain. They're all pretty well bunched up here around A, and Akimbo, they're starting to pull some rotates up. They've got 3 players for this defense.
Yeah, it really all
that
hinges
MP9.
on her.
Oh my! Spraying it down for that one, opens it up, and now Atomic's gonna have to try and get the spray. Florence picks up another one, but it's at least a 2-for-1. Florence, though, has gone down to Isaac. It's a 3v3. Bomb plant gonna be trying to go down here. Nice, does he try to cancel it? He's trying to look for at least a kill, but will spot Little Beer as he tries to jump up, and now it's a 3v2. Isaac and Atomic, they have to hold it down, and it's now 1v2. Atomic now has got to clutch up.
One flashbang. He's towards long, and I think by process of elimination, they're going to start understanding where he's coming from here. Nice looking towards the bathrooms. Oh my goodness, I don't think Atomic even saw him, but Flixie trades, and he's got the kit as well, so no worries about the time. Akimbo win on the bonus round, and surely that should be enough to close this game out.
Yeah, and it's a tough way for the one Goons to lose that as well. And, I feel like Little Beer going to be a bit, disappointed about the fact of how he died in that one as well. He got into the Cubby truck, but decided he wanted the better positioning, jumps up for it. But as he clears that smoke, who's waiting right in front of him? It's Nice with the MP9, immediate cut down there. And it just made things so awkward. Isaac trying to get away towards bathrooms, takes down one, but then is traded from Divider. And it just makes things so much more difficult here for this D side as they're trying to at least find some sort of semblance, some sort of shred of momentum as we continue onwards. But now it's round number 16, and Noxio has already opened up for the first one on the Soul Goat. He dies without getting a kill.
And I mean, there's no chance for a response either. It's just right through that smoke. Nice will pick up a kill of his own, and they're just picking apart Wanted Goons right now. 2 players down early. The Goons will have to try and reassess the situation, group up, being down 2 players. But it just seems like everything is falling into place for Akimbo right now. Look at this large flank from Florence. He's clearing out all this space. Strider looking the wrong direction. And give him another one. Florence winning all the gunfights he's presented, and that leaves Little Beer all alone here. Bomb strapped to his back, yes, but faced with the task of killing 5 Akimbo Esports players that are playing in top form right now.
Yeah, it has to be a hell of a 1v5. Little Beer does at least claim the first. He's got to find 4 more, but that fight was costly, losing about 70 HP there, and will walk into the crosshairs of Flixie, who was pushed up through the monster tunnel. Akimbo cleans this one up 13-3, and what a strong victory coming out for them throughout all of that game. They absolutely showed why they've been together as a squad, why they took 3rd place last season, and, just why they have won that one so convincingly.
This should be a wake-up call for the rest of the teams in Advanced. I mean, all of the wins that Akimbo that have accrued here this regular season haven't been this dominating. I mean, a 13-3 win, this is something you don't see very often now with the addition of CS2. So, it really just goes to show how good this roster is. They've stayed consistent as this core 5, and it goes a long way as they absolutely destroy Wanted Goons here. And now the Goons are on a bit of a loss streak now. You lose 2 in a row. You have to take these 2 losses and try and build from it, as they've got some work to do.
Yeah, it's all going to be about kind of resetting and, just sort of regaining as they move forward into things here. I believe, at least for the Akimbo side of things, we will be having an interview, and it looks like we'll be having Florence on for that one. So I think we'll throw it to a short break, and then once we'll be back, we will be having Florence coming on.
All right, guys, welcome back. We have Florence with us. First of all, congratulations on the win, my man. It was looking very dominating, very good on all fronts, really on Overpass here tonight, 13-3 victory. Just wanted to get your initial thoughts on the match overall before we get into some more specific questions later down the road here.
Well, thank you for that comment in the beginning. But, I mean, honestly, we were planned to play Overpass. We've scrimmed this team, like, 7 times on Overpass already, but honestly, like, I wouldn't say that we had a game plan because of that, but we were so sure that it was going to be that map that, I mean, I don't know, we just practiced it for a bit in the past few weeks, and yeah, just played with confidence. What can I say? Like,
yeah, and to be honest, didn't have to change up really the way you guys were playing. Everything seemed to be working for you. Obviously, you started off on that T side, and everybody was really hitting their shots, but I just kind of wanted to see behind the scenes here, what exactly do you think was working for you guys primarily on that T side? Because we know Overpass to be one of the harder maps to play on that T side. So what exactly was working for you guys to get off to that 9-0 start? I mean, it was 9 wins in a row.
We didn't call much to begin with. Like, we played to just, like, I feel like we just won a lot of gunfights, and, like, they would be aggroing mid and we'd still win the gunfights. Even there's like a smoke, we'd like nade the smoke and then we'd kill them. That's pretty much it. Like, honestly, we were just getting kills everywhere. There was a round where me and Flixie were double monster and we kept renading the smoke, and he ended up getting a kill on someone monster early. One round they re-aggroed on Flixie, he got 2 kills. Katie was picking people off at A. So yeah. Look, I remember one round it was like we were anti-eco. Oh no, it was their first gun round, and I still had a SMG, and I just naded someone mid, and like because of the new nade sound, I heard this person like
Right.
close, and I was like, oh, he's gonna run away surely because they know, but he was just still in the open with an op, and then we got the op kill, and then I think we every single time we'd get an opening like 10, 15 minutes seconds later, sorry, we'd get another one, and the round was pretty much done. Yeah, and our executes were also pretty good, so.
Yeah, and I mean, you took a second there to mention Katie and the performance that she had. I mean, can you highlight more just like what kind of insane moments were happening out from Katie? What were some of the reactions happening as Katie was just destroying things up on that A side of the map?
I mean, honestly, we're kind of used to it, so I wouldn't say the reaction. We're just all like laughs and giggles, I guess. But like there were no like crazy reactions. I feel like there was more crazy reactions to like when we're like getting chased down when they're on eco, like we're just screaming and stuff. But I mean, we gotta keep it like professional most of the time, so we can communicate. But I guess I mean, if I were to highlight things, Kitty's very good at helping us mid round, and yeah, and like call reads and stuff. Like I remember one round, she like said that they would be aggroing mid, and they ended up doing that, and yeah, and we just went B that round. So
That's fair. And looking at this map as a whole, I mean, you did mention a bit of how you guys were kind of anticipating to play Overpass. You played one to Goons in a lot of the scrims. And looking back at this one, what are some of the things that you're looking at and you're thinking you all like just kind of nailed? Like, what are some of the things you guys all feel you did really well throughout this map of Overpass?
I mean, our T side, that's literally the only thing I would say was, because every single time we scrim on this map, we were so bad on T side. So I'm very happy that we had a very good T side, especially we started on it. Like we were, actually, we lost knife round. I'm pretty sure I blocked Nice by accident, and then like we're like, oh fuck, like it's gonna be T side, and then we won the half, and we were like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, not only won the half, but really dominated. I mean, it was 9 rounds in a row, and then by the time you guys got onto the CT side, you won the second half pistol, and then from there, it was pretty much smooth sailing. But you guys are now still undefeated here in advance. Just want to ask, like, what are your initial thoughts about being undefeated? Does this change the way you look at things going forward? And really, how are you going to approach games now that you have a pretty big target on your back? I mean, you guys are climbing up the ranks in advanced.
I mean, honestly, we're just gonna keep playing. Like, it doesn't really matter what record we are. So,
Fair
yeah.
enough.
I mean, we're happy. I've never had a start. I mean, I've made ECL before, and I never had like a 6-0 start, even on that team. So, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think we're just all happy with our results so far, and we're not playing like bad teams. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like good matchups. So.
Yeah, and that's great to hear. And I mean, I feel
the target
like
on our back aside is like,
right.
I don't think we care.
I feel like I do have to ask one more question because I believe we are starting to run short on time. Danny and I, anyways, we do have to run here shortly. But asking, about, because there is this target on your back. If you had to pick one team that you're maybe looking at saying could be the one to maybe take you guys down here in these best of ones, which would it be if you had to take a guess?
What's the team with Clasia on it? That's like the only one.
Is that Might? I'm not 100%. Yes, Clasia is on Might. Clasia's on Might with Nifty and all them.
Yeah, that's like the only one I'd be.
Might is the one that you guys are all kind of maybe looking at and going, they might give you guys a bit.
I mean, they're good players, and
yeah,
Tony's my friend, so
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, Florence, a fantastic performance from you guys tonight.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you for coming on and giving us a little,
absolutely,
a little behind the scenes action into the Akimbo Esports roster and how things went tonight. Anybody want to shout out any closing remarks before we get you out of here?
I see CS Nice is saying he's 7 foot tall. That's wrong. I met him. He's like 4'5" on a good day.
Whoa. Hey, he was asking for it. That's why you don't chat, guys. All right, well, we do appreciate. We got Snake's Den rating right here at the end of the stream. Appreciate you guys. But thank you so much, Florence. I appreciate your time, and good luck on the rest of your matches going forward.
Thank you.
Have a good luck, man.
You too.
All right. Great stuff.
I'm throwing it back to the caster cams here,
I
and
am too.
we'll send Florence on out. Thank you, Florence, once again. Sending him on out of here. And Danny, I think we have to run. We got to close out. For some reason, the OBS Ninja of your cam stopped working.
Yeah.
I tried to fix it. I
okay.
don't really understand what went wrong. But so you've become the disembodied voice of DannyFanta, and maybe that's just living up to the name. But anyways, I feel like it's time we close things out here. Thank you so very much for tuning in here on the Akimbo and the One to Goose channels. It has been an absolute blast, and we hope to cast some more great games coming out. Because, I mean, that was great out of Akimbo. One to Goons, of course, having a few solid moments there. I mean, obviously, this is both teams, I think, last matches for the week. So getting a few days here to just kind of rest up, train up some more, and then get ready for the next week of matches coming up. I can't quite remember which ones are next because there's so many games happening this season. It's all just a blur.
So hard to keep track
But anyways... I have been CernerSandals, joined here by DannyFanta. Thank you so all very much for joining us, and have a good night. We'll see you all another time. Bye.